Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time we figure out what we're going to do with some of this silliness that we have been working on, especially now with this big, massive pile of glass that I am expecting to make, or at least wish I could make. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Captain of Industry. I've done a little bit of tweaking and tuning to the glass setup that we had up here, at least kind of somewhat planned out, pre-planned, in that I have decided we are going to make sure we're using the better recipe, which uses half the amount of sand, but it is going to trade it for a fairly decent amount of acid. So this is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 288 glass per minute, I believe is what the number was going to be. And in order to do that, we're going to need all of the 72 acid that will be coming out of one of these Mixer Mark IIs, which is also going to kind of help us at least with the pollution here, since this is going to produce we're going to use the larger one here, so that means we should be getting a little bit more sulfur. We'll be able to trade that for some other things. I don't really honestly think we need that particular version, but I think we're going to use it anyway, just because it doesn't hurt. We have the supply of the limestone here anyway, because we're going to need the limestone for our glass mixture, so you might as well just run it. It's kind of one of those, if the stuff is sitting here, you might as well use it. But I don't think, I mean, we have, what is this going to be, 6 of these things producing 36. Actually, that's probably going to get pretty good. So 6 times 36 is going to be 216. So theoretically, we could go to the lower version here, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just run it anyway, just because it won't matter. And again, it'll give us a little bit more slag to throw into the ocean to do a couple of other things with as the way it goes. So I'm going to grab that again. I don't want to lose it, and I'm not 100% set on how it works right now, but we will see if this works. I did go ahead and draw a line using a conveyor belt ghost just to see where we could actually get this kind of lined up nicely, because I think there's going to be another bus belt line coming in here pretty soon, as far as we're probably going to take and pipe in or belt in the sand and the rock so that we can make things with it. And when I do that, I may go ahead and belt in the gold as well. So I kind of want a nice wide pathway down here, and I figured if nothing else, we could kind of go off of where the cement blocks are coming out of. So I think if I'm either going to put it kind of in line back here. I know I have that water pipe running a specific direction, or I might put it right here. I am kind of still on the fence. I might build like all of the electronics right here, and in which case I think I'm going to do, I say we do this about right here then, maybe. That way we've got plenty of space, and I guess I could line it up with that, right? So if we put that like right, this is where I wish I had like a ghost placement and then a nudge tool. Once I got it down, it would be so fantastic, like a real blueprint with a nudge tool that you could then figure out whether or not you got it kind of in line with something else. I bet I did. Well, I did a pretty good job. Cool. All right, well, that'll work. Yeah, I was planning on putting it over here, and then I kind of picked it up and realized that, for one, it wasn't exactly where I wanted it. 2, we have all the belts in the world right now, so there's no reason not to make like nice room for a lot of things. But that is a lot of, well, glass. We're going to have to do a little bit of tweaking to it as well, because I do have a 200 belt here facing the wrong way. Why are you facing the wrong way? And it's going to be about 288. So that means I will have to upgrade, still trying to clean out some of the problems that are in it, but we will have to upgrade some of this belt in order to make it function fully. For right now, like I said, after doing the math, I think we're going to need, maybe, just in order to be able to keep up with things, about 320 sand per minute, which is going to be about half of what this is going to be. So we're okay for right now on this line, but I am going to build it out completely, regardless of how many people that may or may not take, because we're going to eventually need that much glass. And might as well, because the eventuality is, and the really silly eventuality is when we do upgrade, or should say when we do go ahead and research that first, where is it, or the last assemblers, that one right here, this last assembly, that will double our throughput, double our speed, double everything. So that'll be our last double, though, is the problem. From then on out, we're building at mass. The deal is with that, though, is that when we get it done, all we got to do is come in and upgrade every single one of these assemblies, and we'll theoretically double our processing power, which means overnight I can double the amount of labs we're running. So that's kind of one of those things. I think we're going to end up at 8, and I'm going to try to end up at 8. I know that sounds dumb, but this is how I play these kinds of games. I like to be the person that finds the weaknesses in little games like this, and if it's because of the fact that I run out of materials because I'm not doing a very good job managing them, well, then that's not necessarily on me. Maybe the devs should just make a lot more resources to play with, or maybe I should have some more trades, or maybe I should be able to do something that's a little bit more, I don't know, naturally resourced that I can then trade for other things. Because I don't believe, even for that matter, in here that there is a contract that's going to be usable for anything. So like, well, I mean, I guess we could trade wood for corn, and then we could take the corn and turn it into ethanol and burn ethanol for fuel. I mean, that would be something that we could theoretically do, and we could convert over our coal production facility over here to run on a natural resource. I mean, we could do that. I mean, and for that matter, we could be raising a whole lot of trees and burning them back into coal, which is one of those things that I don't really want to do, but theoretically we can, and if we do, that might be a reason for us to build an entire tree farm in that particular island section over here, which is a very large area. I mean, it really is a pretty good size. I think if I were to drop down one of these right here, one of these mine control towers, I don't think I could cover the whole area with a mine control tower. So that's a fairly large area to play with. I think you could probably cover the entire area with one of these forestry control towers, but yeah, if we did end up, and that's going to be one of those kinds of silly things, if we did end up running low on coal, which I don't ever see really happening for this playthrough go through, we can theoretically burn trees back into coal if we wanted to, which I don't really see us doing. I will just go to nuclear and start shutting off everything that burns coal, and when we have way too much power, we'll move to a bunch of these instead of the coal. So that's kind of like the end game kind of deal. Once you start to make way too much power, you start going away from the blast furnaces, because then you don't need the coal anymore. So I don't believe, anyway, if I look at this, I don't believe you need any of that. So the only reason why I think we're using coal here is because of the silicon, but I think that's the only recipe in there that does that. So yeah, interesting. Okay, cool. Anyhow, no, I think this is what we're going to do today. We're going to get this sorted. I've got a couple of other little things that I wanted to talk about while we're waiting on these guys to build this, and then yeah, we see what we do, because I think after that, if I go over here and look, so we've got this section done, so all of this is okay, this is done. This will be the last little bit of this, and again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're making 12. I'm doing 2 extra just because, I think I'm doing 2 extra, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, I'm doing 2 extra because of the need for the glass that goes into which one of these things? Is it this one? This one. This is going to take, well, in order to run that flat out the way that it is right now, that's going to take, what is it, 16 times 3? So that's going to take 48 glass, so we will still be a little under even if we're running maxed out, if we end up having to max that completely out. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So, and the way this is all going to go, if we want to do any more of this, I will have to then put in another sulfuric acid maker, or what I really probably should do is just sit down and build a sulfuric acid production facility and just run a pipe to all of this stuff. But right now it's easier to do this because this is not going to be running all the time, but it's definitely going to need to be able to make more than what this one does. So I think with everything said, where do I want to pull a pipe for water? Can I grab you right there? What did I do here? I did a double. I'm going to go, no, I want you to connect to it. Let go. There you go. I want you to connect to it. And I think we're going to go, so that one's going back. That's the return line. How about we run you to like right there, and then we'll be really careful. Can you go over that air separator? Neat. Good. Can I get you to there? And not find a pillar placement. Lovely. Can I put a pillar there? See, this is where this game doesn't make any sense. Oh, I know why it's mad at me, because I you know what? Well, I can't do that either because I'm using those open spots. Great. Now I gotta find a place to hook this up. Give me a second. You get turned around because we don't want you facing that way. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do something like that, I think, for right now. That'll be allowed to come across. And then, like I said, I think this will probably be the next bus line or the line of belts and whatnot that are going to be coming in down through here, because this will join it, and then it's going to come all the way down through to about right here, and then either come across or just dive in as we need things, because this is going to go away. I need this out of the way because I want to move all of our recycling up, these recycling buildings. I need to move them like fairly close to here because I'm tired of having the trucks truck all of the stuff from one point to another. And oh my, guys, you're a little behind. It's great. I did turn up the recycling. We've been kind of just chilling since we're not been doing any work, so I did turn up the recycling efficiency quite a ways. This is one of those things you got to be careful with because it will creep up on you and absolutely saturate the living heck out of a system like these. These are not very fast at producing materials. I mean, the most they can handle is 144 of the regular recyclable, or what is it, 48 of the compressed stuff, and it waits until it gets that much, and then it takes 60 seconds to process 144. If you're making more than that, meaning if you're making a 200 belt, you need to be running 2 of these. If you're making a 400 belt, you need to be running 4 of them. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where it caught me off guard a while back where I was trying to get some things done and do some science, and then couldn't figure out why in the heck our recycling was backed up, and it's because I'm trying to run an efficiency of a reasonable amount. I'd really like to be up a little bit higher because it would be saving us on a considerable amount of our resources going into our furnaces. But yeah, the next project, I think, since we're sitting here discussing this, let's just unpause that. Take a deep breath and see how badly that does. And then as soon as those are done, what we will do is I'm going to empty, 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 empty. And then they should be able to pull all of that out of there while we're busy working. We're fine as far as making glass. The only thing that's currently eating the glass is the, what is it, these things right here, the household goods. Do these things use it? Wait a minute. Hang on a second. What else is using glass? Because I'm not paying attention to this. So you guys are using glass too, aren't you? No, you're not. So the only thing that should be eating glass right now is our Unity bonus for giving our people their household goods. Okay. The reason why I'm interested in getting a little bit more of this going again is because I think the next big thing that I want to try to get done this week is I am, well, we've been upgrading a couple of these. I need to upgrade another one. I want to try to put down at least 1 or 2 office buildings, and in order to do so, we're also going to need to be able to make a whole bunch more of the household goods because we need to be able to make office supplies. Something like this, which is going to be, yeah, it was already there, which is going to be paper, household goods, and electronics, and that'll give us the office supplies, and depending on how many, well, I guess it's that to that, huh? What does this one do? Just 842? Oh, so that's not terrible. Wow, that's actually really cheap. We may just see about some of those, because, I mean, if that's all that costs, granted, I understand that this one, I think, holds 1,000 people, but that's definitely a lot cheaper than I was thinking it was going to be. Huh. That's still a lot of wood. And again, we may have to upgrade this mess, which that's going to be on the list. I probably should actually add some more shipping, cutting, wood area while we wait on those things to go. Let's see. Edit area. Can you come clear over to here? Yeah, I figured you were about done. So that's all the bigger you can go, huh? All right. Well, I am going to also give this guy a fun designation. You can plant all of the trees you want to plant in around here, please. Don't care where they end up. Except I don't think we have access to the inside of the rail yard area, so we'll do something kind of like that. Now, I want you not to do that. Something kind of like this. Thank you. And then I'll just kind of cut that corner out. We'll be fine. All right. Plant trees. Plant more trees. Oh, and yeah, you can't do anything here. It's fine. Whatever. Cool. I'll leave it alone. I guess I could plant some trees in here. Might as well make it look pretty while we're at it. That'll give them something to do, at least the tree planters. We have plenty of wood to be cut. And again, like I said, I'm pretty certain these are probably going to be moving just as soon as I can get done, finish digging a nice flat pathway in through here. So once that's done, we'll probably be building. I'm already working on a rail line anyway to try to figure out how I want to get down here. And I know this is kind of one of those deals. It's going to be a little bit of work and a little bit of pain, but I am going to try to shove this stuff this direction, and I still want to run rails right straight through the middle of it. So we'll see how that all goes. Anyhow, how are you guys doing? We got a lot of things you got to build. Granted, there's a whole lot of junk over here. They're going to have to move around. That's fine, but we should at least have something built once they get these sorted. So can you guys at least build one of these so that we can make some of this work, please? Thank you. And also, please build this first, too. It looks like everything else is ready to go. And, of course, they should be able to chew through and make the recycled glass without a problem. Oh, and I don't need... That was an oops. Oops on my part. Cool, so we have 4 of them. Oh, and like now, guys, that one. It's like, cool, we've got everything ready to go except for the storage to put it in them. Are you doing well? You have a little bit of pollution. Good. So that's going to work. Everything is set up here. Nice. Lovely. What was this one supposed to be? Broken glass. Coal. Keep full, please. Interesting. I don't know. I don't want you guys hauling things out of them. Okay. Why is that backwards? I always love how this ends up. I have no idea how things get turned around. I guess it's from the general direction of what you drug it from when you were putting it together. Because I did have to rejig this a little bit. We had these way too close together when I was building this or prototyping it out because I was planning on using the other recipe. So as long as we can get some sulfuric acid going anytime soon, kids, we'd be able to actually do some stuff. All right, I did rig this up so that any amount of sulfur that comes out of the scrubber will be the first that gets utilized by our mixer to make sulfuric acid. So we shouldn't have to worry about removing anything from this. The slag is just going to jump over the belt and go join the other slag belt that's over here. So as long as everything is okay, what is your problem? Oh, just stop. Go away. It's fine. It's okay. It's good. Hey, cool. Then that means I can run another belt line, probably, I don't know. Like I said, I think we might jump up and run a belt line from here to there and then cut across somewhere right around in here because I believe the first usage is somewhere right in here. I mean, I know I have an utter mess of junk all over the place and I really probably should make it look a little prettier, but it is working. All right, you guys do me a huge favor for right now. Keep that one full. And export is allowed out. For now, that's what we're going to do while we build all the rest of this parts. Cool. Well, I'm going to let them complete that, I think, while we look at a few other little things. Oh, yes. While I'm sitting here thinking about it, for those of you that are paying attention, you probably noticed that the length is over here on the train yard has changed. And that is due to the fact that I was having a stupidity issue on my own part, understanding that these trains are X amount of distance long once they're parked in here, and that they were just into the no stop area when we had the signs out, or excuse me, when we had these out originally. So we have multiple things going on now. I'm actually playing with their scheduling to make things work a little better. Let's click on the schedule while we wait on those things to get built. The schedules on all of these now, I have, actually I don't think this one, this is the fuel one, coal train. Let's look at the coal train here. I have added in a couple of extra little stops here to make sure that they're not wasting fuel. I have it set up to where when they're getting to the drop-off areas, they're allowed to be, they're not allowed to leave until they're completely empty. And if they are at the loading station, they're not allowed to leave until they're completely full. So we were chasing trains around doing stupid things, which means what that's doing at least is it's keeping a train sitting right here until it's empty and a train sitting over there at the filling station until it's full. And that way at least we're doing a couple of, well, we're at least trying to save a couple of things, at least as far as fuel is concerned, because they were chasing each other around half full and half empty, which was kind of silly. I also removed a few of the stopping areas, and I'm just kind of testing a couple of things with this. Again, like I said, there is signals in the game, and it's based on how you decide which area gets to stop first. So what I did was I removed all the straight through stops here so that if a train is in the straight through lane, it is given priority over anything else that's in here, which means there's an interesting thing. The game apparently can see that there's trains lined up here, so if they were all here and they all needed to go at the same time, it would allow the fuel train to go first, then the, what is this, the iron train, then, no, not iron train, I think it's coal, iron, gold, copper, so it kind of waterfalls left to right, which is kind of nice, so that it just makes sure that there's nothing happening going on in here. I've also removed all of the stopping in this area because there's no point in them to try to even calculate that. And then there's a few obvious places, like right here there was a stop, and right over here there was a stop, so I removed a bunch of the stops. I also elevated that turnaround so that they weren't causing a problem there. But yeah, you can make things a little bit more efficient by removing stops in areas that don't need to be there, because like, well, like right here, if I was looking at this stop right here where the only two options are going straight or turning, the stop I care about is this one right here, because, well, it's going to have to calculate that whether or not there's something there. That's the only thing that's going to become a problem. Trains look ahead of themselves and understand when they need to stop based on how far the train in front of them is. This is why you're not using like signals where you're not breaking the tracks up into chunks or pieces. You're just letting them decide whether or not they want to follow somebody close or not. What I need to do is make sure that they're not running into each other when we're getting crossings. So that's why I've removed a lot of the stuff, and the only places that I'm leaving in stopping areas is spots like this where I want that train, if it's going to re-enter the main line, to stop and wait on anything that is in this area. Doing that, removing the straight through ones in here, I was having issues with them stopping right here and waiting until something in this area was completely clear all the way the heck over here. No. We want you to just keep going on through, and I want you to tailgate that other train like nobody's business. You know, the way your mother would get mad at you when you're trying to drive something on the highway. Anyhow, how are we doing? We're getting fairly close. Good enough. I guess, like I said, we will sit here, and I have a big boo-boo, don't I? Boink. Boink. They probably can't build those. Build one of those, please. Build that one, please. Make glass. Okay. All right, so like I said, we're going to let things just kind of build for a minute. Now that we should have a decent supply of glass, I'm going to have to remember I need to upgrade this line to the next layer because we cannot support, well, I mean, I theoretically could just cut this in half, like right here, and then run another belt down to the side, but we need them to be building all of the parts. Anyhow, like I said, I'm going to let this finish up. I think there's not a whole heck of a lot else I wanted to talk about today. And then we'll go on from there. But yes, the trains, I was having a fun time with the trains, trying to make the trains do what trains should do. And then I realized that the default way they're laying down their signaling or their stopping paths is incredibly slow, and it will cause a backup if you're not paying attention. So anyhow, I'll see y'all in a little bit. There we go, a little bit of bug fixing later. Bug fixes, bug fixes, bug fixes. Bug fixes, bug fixes, fixing bugs. We all like fixing bugs. That's part of the fun of doing all this stuff, isn't it? Bug fixes. Had to move the elevator over 1 because I, again, had to move everything over here. This had to move over 1, this had to move over 2. So, you know, it's kind of the way things work when you're too busy doing things that you're not paying attention to. But we can definitely see that we're going to have a hard time maintaining the fullness of this particular storage with the trucks. The trucks will do it, but we probably need to bring in a bigger truck to do it. But I think, like I said, we will for certain probably in between episodes I'm going to have to run a coal line over here somewhere anyway. I might accidentally split it off of where this one is, but we'll run a line of coal over here to keep this full, and then the sand will be drug in from over there. And I think the salt, I mean, we don't really, I don't know. We don't need a massive amount of salt. I suppose I could belt that in. The limestone is always going to be a problem because it's clear the heck over there, and until we decide we're going to start mining and bringing limestone in over here, it's just going to be a pain. I may end up doing that anyway. It may just, when we decide we run the train by that mine, or by this, what's left of it. There's not a whole lot left in there, but there's still a fair amount left in there, so we'll be at it for a while still. I am a little concerned. I did have to do a rejig on the iron mine just so that we could start mining the ramp out and then mining some of the rest of the stuff around. There's still a decent amount of iron in this wall over here. It's just that, well, the ramp, the thing that we were using to get in and out is nothing but iron. So I'm kind of just going to go ahead and dig it up, and then we'll let them go out and around and drive the long way around. So that's going to be a little while. Are we almost done, fellas? Getting there. Almost done. I think this is going to be a problem too. Fairly soon, and I hate to say it, fairly soon, I think we're going to start one of the contracts for slag, just because I really feel like not throwing it away right now. I could theoretically turn slag into power, and I know that sounds kind of weird, but you theoretically could turn slag into power, because if you take trash and you burn trash through one of these, so that makes 18 high steam, which you could then run through one of these, but it would require, well, let me see, 48. So I'd need at least 3 of those running, and then I'd have excess, which is not great. Some of the numbers that they give us, and I'm just going to say it like this, some of the numbers that they give us when you're looking at some of the things that are available, you can tell there still needs to be a fair amount of balancing done, because that should just be 3 instead of 2.67. So, you know, fun times. But anyhow, we can do slag as far as trash. We could trade slag for more sludge, or what we probably will end up doing is trade slag for sour water, which we can then produce more sulfur to then produce more sludge, so we can produce more compost and more goodness when it comes to fuel. I need more people. Hello, sir. You guys have replenished. Give me 40 more, well, 10 more people. I am done with the natural population progression. I want to just kind of work at that very slowly, so I'm going to be doing the adoption of people coming in from now on, just because I don't want to be just having excess amount of people sitting around doing absolutely nothing for us other than eat our food. So yeah, it is kind of on my mind as the way that's going to work. Okay, one more blast furnace. There we go. And again, we need a few more people. Not a huge deal. We only need point. We'll do that. We'll have 15 extra. I like to keep about 20 to 30 people just on tap in case we end up with a sickness, although we haven't had any in a while that was pretty bad. We did have a flu a while back that was bad enough that it got past the current medical production that we're making. So that's maybe one of the things, is a half step between the next here and there that we need to do, is get into the next layer of medical. And for whatever reason, I saw a blackout. Why? What happened? I just honestly think these things don't spin up quickly enough. I really don't. Alrighty then, I suppose what we need to do is we need to now go ahead and build the next layer, well, build the bus, or build that line that I want to do. It's going to come up out of here and go this way and connect in right about where that thing's at. So final thing for now, we're going to build a brand new line, and it is going to require those because that is what we're only able to do with. So let's jump up to, actually I might even do it beside it. Hold shift, and we're going to go hold shift about, nope, let go. Oh, I love this game so much. Of course it wants to build it that direction. So it is going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in from the corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do not connect. Quit trying to connect. Thank you very much. How about we'll pull you till the last obvious connection there, and I'm just going to stop, and then we'll go ahead and toss in a flat lift there, and do something silly like that. Now get off the connection, go over to there. Love it. Can I have that to there, please? Why did it? Okay, no, I want you over here, and then you can stop being that. You can be a flat lift here. Thank you, and then try that again. Cool. All right, you guys, unpause that, please. And then you can stop being kept full. All right, goodbye, my friend. You've served us well. Oh, that cancel deconstruction on that. Why don't you empty it? There's no reason to move glass around just to move it around again. You go away. Boink. And can I connect here to there? No. I'm wondering, I want to try something here. Let's do a little bit of pause and deletion. We should be able to get to there. I know I built all that and it's terrible. Go ahead and get rid of it. Will you go over that? You will go under, but we are too close. Okay, that's what I was afraid of. Go ahead and delete to the last pillar. Now we will do that. It's not amazing. It'll do what it needs to do for now. Build it, please. Because we don't want to be running out of office supplies or whatever this furniture is for our people. I'm definitely relying considerably on that one particular household good thingy here. All right, yeah, we're flu moderate. It's getting pretty nasty. I mean, we're down 20 points. We're making 25. I think one of the next steps we're going to have to really seriously look at doing is making better medicine for our people. We do have the medical supply 2 that we can make, which will help a little bit more, I believe, if I recall correctly. We have medical supplies 2, which I really wish they would explain certain things, you know, how it actually makes anything better. I'm assuming if I look in here, they would be able to tell me if I do here. So the bonuses would be another 25% plus 20 health plus and a full 1% or full 1% of mortality rate reduction. So yeah, it would probably be something we need to get to looking at. Considering we're really only eating 17 of them right now, that wouldn't be that hard to do. It's just that the next layer, I believe, requires us to make sugar cane. Yeah, we need to be raising sugar and sugarcane, which we are not doing. So part of the reason why we're doing all of this back here is that I'm going to probably do at least 4 probably 8 at least of just the basic foods of which we were doing over here already. And then we're going to dig into wheat and sugarcane and something else that I don't remember what it was going to be. But anyhow, I think with all that being said, we are now hooked up. We're now playing with around 300, almost 300 glass per minute that we should be able to use to do other things. We're going to definitely have to start thinking about doing something with the slag that we're going to be getting, because this is going to make a lot of slag. As you know, considering with the same stuff as the way these are making, this is going to make more slag than those are. So more slag than these are. So we're now making a considerable amount of slag. We need to start trading that for a usable thing that we can like turn around and make our people happy with. But again, like I said, I think I'm starting to like how this is starting to shape out. We may end up moving the concrete, and if I do, it's going to move this direction. It's going to come in behind the silicon production here. And again, I think probably in the next episode or two, we're going to start trying to move these guys over here in a specific line, probably something about like this, and then belt in all of the returns that we can get aside from, say, the gold, because we need to stop trucking iron and gold and copper scrap. We really just need to quit doing that, because it's just, that's one of the little things that we continuously do all the time. And once we crank up science and all of the massive amounts of scrap comes out of these things, and it's a massive amount, it's going to be, well, more than our belt can currently handle as far as how much we're making. We're going to want to be able to produce, or we are going to be able to want to process that and get it injected into the system as quickly as possible so that we can save seriously on raw resources. So I think that's going to be the next step before we start building this mess. So hopefully by the end of the week, we'll be getting into science again, which would be really nice. I'd be looking forward to it. Anyhow, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.